Do you not know how to trade and want to be able to trade up to units like Dio without spending a dime? Well, today I am going to teach you everything you need to know about trading. We're going to go over what units are tradable, tiers in the value list, values, demands, trends, what to focus on when trading, and what not to trade for. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but for that to be possible, you guys have to drop a sub, and only 5.7% of you guys are subbed. So if you can, don't forget to drop a sub down below to help support the channel, and if you enjoy the content, like the video. Let's get back to it. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what units are actually tradable. So any unit you get will have this thing at the bottom if they are tradable, limited. Limited units are the only tradable units in the game. Some examples of this are Infinity Castle units that you receive from the stars at the end of each Infinity Castle season, which typically ends every 3 to 4 updates. That is the number one way to get tradable units, is from that and events. So events over here will sometimes bring limited time banners or stars, or just anything along those lines. And as you can see here, we have a limited time banner, the Port Agency event. Each one of these units will become tradable once this event goes away. And depending on if the unit's shiny or not, its value will go up. Typically with new units that are not currently tradable, their values are not known until about 2 weeks after they become tradable for the value list to update. However, this doesn't mean that they're not tradable, that you don't want to trade them yet, because you have to remember that the value list does not determine everything. A lot of people trade but not even based off the value list, but what other people get for their trades. And now you're probably wondering, what even is a value list? Well, let's get into it. So right here, I have the Anime Adventures value list. When you first open it, you'll start in the trading server. This is simply for servers where people trade at. You just join these and you can offer and people will respond. We're going to ignore skins for now. Skins don't really have the most value overall, so just don't worry about skins at the moment. Stats, also don't worry about this just yet. We'll come back to stats. Starting us off, we're going to go all the way to C tier. There are different tiers in the value list. We have C tier, B tier, A tier, and S tier. And all of these tiers are split off in between their own plus, mid, and low, or S minus, S plus, and then SS for S tier. Every other tier, there's no like AA. It's A plus, A, and A minus. So we're going to start off in the C tier. Basically, when you're looking at these units, as you can see in the C tier, all of them are very low value, a value of 30, worth about 2 to 1 reroll token. And they have a demand of 2 or 1. This basically means that these units are unwanted. Nobody wants them. They're not going to get you something or get you a leg up in a trade. And if you see this side right here where it says trend, this basically just means that the units, like, it's the average rate that they go at. So even as I say here, this is a guide. You don't want to base all your trades off this. For example, I traded my Dio. I got a super good deal. Did I put a lot of rerolls into it? Yeah. But I ended up trading a shiny Boros, a shiny Dofi, and about 400 so RRs for my Dio. Now, I get it, that's a lot of money, but you can easily trade up starting from something as simple as a tournament unit. Or Hamaru is a great unit to trade up with because her value, as you can see, is 27 or 450, but she has a demand of 6, and she's a stable price point. So this pretty much means that people are going to be willing to pay more for her as compared to, say, a shiny Tatsumi, who is a demand of 3, even though he's the same value. Value is where you want to go. You don't want to base it off the actual reroll tokens. You base it off of value, because a lot of people look for higher or equal value in their trades. For example, say somebody is trading for a shiny Hamura. It says she is 3,650 value with 8 demand. So people are most likely going to ask for something around Android 21's value or even a Blue Devil, because there's a lot of overpays that go with certain units. If you pay attention to the trends every now and then, units that get hyped a lot of times end out going for overpay even well after they're no longer hyped. And it can be quite annoying to deal with, especially whenever units are just like non-stop, just overpay. For example, I overpaid for my first Dio by quite a bit. However, my second Dio, I underpaid because Dio's value has been kind of iffy since without Unique, he is not the greatest unit. But as you can see, we finally have Unique. Overall though, like within the trading list itself, there is no major super difficult things to understand. But I do want to talk about what to trade for and what not to trade for. So you're never going to want to trade for anything in C tier. Don't take anything in here. Don't even take them as ads. Ads are basically units that you add into a trade because the other person asks for them, and it's just to balance stuff out. Do not take anything in the C tier or even low B tier as an ad, because none of these units really do anything. They're pretty much pointless. The only unit I would ever take as an ad would be Oshi, simply because she's a good unit if you don't have her. But like everything else in here, it's just not really worth it. Anything below a 4 demand, I would never take in a trade. Ever. Because like as you can see, Dopey is a 4 demand. If you go into the Anime Adventures official Discord and look for trades, trading your own Dopey, a lot of people are not looking for Dopey. They're not looking for these units that are like 4 demand. You're going to want to go for units that are 5 demand and up. For example, regular Skull Knight, 5 demand. Amelia, 5 demand. It's units like that that you want to focus on. Or Shiny Isagi. And that brings us to unstable trends. Unstable trends are very, very iffy when it comes to trading, because you're going to have to try multiple people before you actually trade. This is simply because unstable trends can mean you either get a super high overpay or a very, very low underpay for your unit. Because people are like, well, I don't know if it's going up or if it's going down, so they don't want to mess with it. And that is why you have to be super, super duper careful with unstable units. For example, Himamaru. He's obviously not wanted, right? 25 rerolls, 400 value. So people are going to offer way less for him if you have him. That's why a lot of times units like this that are from the leaderboards, we go into AA and go to play, you get units like him from actually making it onto an infinite mode leaderboard, as you can see here, like one of these. And at the end of a season, which is the same type of Infinity Castle season, you will be able to talk to All Might and get that leaderboard unit. Leaderboard units are quite difficult to achieve, and if you make it within top 10, you'll actually get a shiny leaderboard unit. You talk to All Might and you say claim reward and he'll give you units. Obviously, I've not made it on the leaderboard, so I don't have any units to claim. But you have to make sure that you're going for units with higher demand than even like values. So say you're trading off your Skull Knight and you get offered you can say you get offered a shiny Kisame. I wouldn't even take that offer, simply because his demand is so low, nobody wants him unless he's an ad. Like, you could maybe trade a shiny Kisame in an ad for maybe a shiny Piccolo. So you trade somebody like shiny Kenshin and shiny Kisame for shiny Piccolo. It's stuff like that that you have to look out for. Or a shiny Haribo and shiny Kisame for shiny Piccolo. People want shinies more than anything. I don't know what it is. It's something about Roblox players, but that little thing that just says shiny and that little extra sparkle makes people go crazy. It makes no sense to me. I don't really get it, but it explains why everything in the S tier, other than Psyche, Dio, and Future Gohan, and Blue Devil, are not shiny. Are all shiny. And A21. And the only reason those units that are up there are not shiny is because they're simply rare. They're just extremely rare. As you can see, shiny Psyche is 145 or 3,000 value. It's absurd. These units go for so much. I mean, it's crazy. It is actually crazy. Such as so Future Gohan, here's a great example of why the value list is highly off. A lot of people want Dio plus like 200 to 400 rerolls and ads for Future Gohan. And if you have a couple brain cells, you can understand how absurd that is as a trade, because according to this list, Dio is 125 rerolls or 2,500 value over Future Gohan. That doesn't make any sense. But in actuality, it comes down to the fact that there is more demand for one unit, or the fact that it's more rare. So there's less than 60 Future Gohans in the game, so obviously Future Gohan's going to be a little bit more rare than Dio, even if Dio's the better unit, according to the tier list or just in-game. That's just simply how stuff is based off of within trading in this game. And whenever you trade, you'd only get 20 trades a day, but that is more than enough. I have never traded 20 times in a day before. But just make sure that when you're trading, you go over the value list, consult your friends. There's a channel in the Anime Adventures Discord called W or L, and you can ask people to see if this is a good or a bad trade. So always, before you make a trade, check your trades. But other than that, that is all I have for you guys. I hope this taught you just a little intro on trading. And yeah, I mean, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.